Now, Mkhwebane's impeachment inquiry enters its second week this morning. The first witness subpoenaed is a complainant who wrote to Parliament but did not want to testify voluntarily. On Friday, Mkhwebane asked if she could respond to questions put to her in writing. Lindsay Dentlinger is watching those hearings and joins us now. Good morning, Lindsay. A lot of ground covered last week, but not without attempts to bring in external matters that possibly could have seen week one prolonged. Talk to us about what we saw last week.
So, Fundo, I think the committee would have wanted to be a little further down the line than we saw where they ended on Friday. They were due to listen to the testimony from two former SARS executives. We spent 3 days on the testimony of Mr. Johan van Lochrenberg, who was a former SARS executive alleged to have been heading up this so-called rogue unit that we now know did not exist. And so his testimony lasted for 3 days. And then when it came down to MPs wanting to question the public protector herself about some of the testimony that he put forward, in the main, his complaint was that he was completely ignored when she compiled her report on SARS, that she asked for those questions to be responded to in writing and to invoke one of the rules that the committee has adopted, which gives her 7 days to do so. Incidentally, we will be back in the Western Cape High Court next week, this time, Fundo, when the public protector will again attempt to challenge her suspension and takes the president to court on that score. And that was also a central issue that ran throughout the week of testimony in the first week of this inquiry, even though the Section 194 committee saying matters of suspension had nothing to do with it. That was purely the prerogative of the president. Not so, says Dali Mpofu. He says what transpired here in the parliamentary precinct, the speaker writing to the president, informing her of the start of this inquiry, were all actions that triggered her being suspension, and their main contention that her suspension has been premature and is impacting on her ability to respond to this inquiry adequately and have access to her legal team and others. We don't expect her here, incidentally, this morning, Fundo, for the next 2 days or so. We expect her and her legal team to be participating in the proceedings from a virtual platform.
And then who are we expecting today?
Well, that's the big secret that is being kept under wraps, Mfundo. As you pointed out there, what we do know is that it is somebody who wrote to Parliament, laid a complaint about the public protector some time ago, I'm told, but not someone who was prepared to voluntarily appear before this committee to give testimony, and that person now being subpoenaed to give testimony before the committee. I also expect that to take place on a virtual platform, but that is unclear. That is purely my guesswork based on the sense of what I'm getting surrounding this witness, and so exactly to what that witness will be testifying, we do not know. As I said, the committee had wanted to also hear from former SARS Deputy Commissioner Ivan Pillay last week, and then we heard on Friday that that testimony will be put on hold because this witness that we are expected to hear from today was specifically subpoenaed to testify today. And so because of the sensitivities around subpoenaing someone, as you know, that is really Parliament's last resort in trying to get somebody to speak to them. They didn't want to shift this date, the next 2 days set down for this particular witness. So it remains to be seen who will be taking the hot seat at 10 o'clock when proceedings resume here. But as I said, all we know is that it's a whistleblower or a complainant against the Public Protector's Office.
All right, Lindsay, thank you very much. We'll most certainly catch up with you a bit later on. That's reporter Lindsay Dentlinger, who's been monitoring the impeachment inquiry in Parliament for us. More news.